shirt with a pickup truck?
Yeah,
Or maybe with a three-piece suit and a
I
Lamborghini?
was wearing a white T-shirt, like Cody, a white T-shirt and jeans, and my truck looked like shit.
And he's fucking Italian.
Yeah.
That's not how I look like shit. Like, I want the same clothes.
No,
this guy was.
I said my truck looked terrible.
I'm wearing the same thing. Thanks for the compliment.
Because I showed up looking like Cody over here.
Yeah, that's what I said.
And I'm wearing the same thing. Thanks for the compliment, dude.
That's funny. No, I just went mudding the day before with my truck. So.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And he said he showed up in his Lambo.
Yeah, he did. 3-piece suit in his Lamborghini. So it's funny.
Did you expect anything less?
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay. Oh, by the way, none of this stuff gets edited, by the way, so this is all going to be part of that. Yeah. No, anyway, hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Unleash Your Potential. It's actually not morning, it's afternoon. This is a double recording session. My name is John Brucato. I'm your host. Got a co-host, Robert Avitia, here, which is awesome because normally when we record, sometimes you're in Brownsville, sometimes you're here. But hey, we are back for more coaching, on a Thursday, man, where you're going to learn how to, rise to a different level, grow your potential, and really just become the best version of yourself. I'm here with 3 amazing guys, man, some of my friends, and that you're going to meet in just a minute. But if you don't already follow our podcast, go check us out on Instagram or YouTube at Unleash Your _potential. Okay, so hey, we got a lot of visitors today, man. We're gonna save the best for last, Lawrence. Right? I'm kidding. You can go first. Yeah. But hey, no, just no particular order. They're all great guys, but I want you guys to meet my friend Cody, man. You can pull the microphone towards you, brother.
Yeah.
So why don't you just introduce yourself to everybody, man? What do you do?
Yeah, so like you said, my name's Cody. I own Gateway Property Investments, and I'm a real estate investor.
That's awesome, man. I'm so glad you're here. And that way Lawrence can get the mic back. So Neil, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody as well? What do you do?
Yeah, Neil Rubenstein, and I'm the business development manager of Blue Kangaroo Packoutz. We're a contents restoration business.
Awesome, and the man and the legend. There's no myth, right? Because you're right here, right?
Lawrence Guerrero, owner of Prominent Home Services. Construction is my game.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm glad you guys are here because you guys actually have a lot of stuff in common. Where you're single guys, man. You're building businesses. Some of you guys have kids. There's some in the future. None that you know of, right? None that you know. Yeah, none that you know of. And but we're gonna have a great conversation today. Before I do that, though, I'd love for everyone to get to know you guys just a little bit, man. Cody, how long you been in business for yourself now?
So I was in the Army and started in 2020.
Thank you for your service, man.
Thank you. Yeah, and I did it part-time for about 3.5 years. Took a year break in that, so about 2.5, and I went full-time in it when I got out of the Army in April of 2023.
Okay. Yeah. Cool, man. That's awesome. And Neil, what motivated you, man? Because I know you were working somewhere else, and then you took on this responsibility, this role, man. What motivated you to make the shift into this business?
I was leading a large sales team for a freight broker for most of my career, and just really wanted to kind of get in on the ground floor of something with one of my previous bosses, and he was buying into his franchise. So having the opportunity to be the first employee was very appealing for me.
Yeah, that's great, man. And Lawrence, what motivated you, man, to go run your own deal?
Honestly, it started with me. I started off in roofing, traveling the country, did that for a few years. It wasn't until I found out I was having a daughter, and I wanted to stay home, and so I came back to Houston, and my brother already owned a plumbing company, and I was already deep into roofing with the network, so we decided to merge together, and that's how we started Home Services, and from there we started doing some more remodels and plumbing and roofing only. And then it kind of evolved into more and more as the years went on. And that's why we got into new construction. So here we are today.
Yeah, and you guys are how many years old now?
We're going on 2 years with Home Services.
Yeah.
I've been in construction for going on 7, and my brother's on 8 years.
Yeah, that's awesome stuff, man. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you guys first before we jump into our discussion, because you guys are both parents and your kids are pretty young. I got a chance to meet your kids at Slowpokes at one time. Yeah, how do you guys balance, being in business and then being a parent as well?
I guess I'll go first.
That was funny.
It's tough, especially at first, because everything was new. I didn't even know my schedule yet. Trying to be an entrepreneur, you guys set your own and follow it.
Yeah.
So what I learned was, give my kids the expectations, and then also, they're interested in what their dad does. So I let them tag along. Like when I see distressed properties, I'll see if they want to go on appointments with me, or my son, when we drive for dollars, basically drive around, look for distressed properties. He'll write the addresses down for me.
That's awesome.
So yeah, they're all kind of getting into it.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're teaching them young. That's great. What about you, Lawrence? How do you manage that, man?
Honestly, it's one of the hardest things, especially with a 2-year-old daughter and a 15-year-old son. Because I work 7 days a week. I mean, honestly, my time, even when I get home, my day doesn't stop. I gotta do clients, emails, estimates. It's just, that's the hardest thing I've actually had to work with, was not just getting to work, but having to go home and shut it off and then spend time with my family. But honestly, as most times when I have to, like I said, I just kind of completely knock it off, put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Yeah. And I try to make the most time I can with my daughter, because she is a newborn. My son's already a grown man. I mean, he's 15. We text a lot, and I take him out every once a week, hopefully when I can. But his mom is very understanding, knowing that I'm always working, always out there. Sure. I'm not out fucking around, just trying to make money, bring it to the table.
Yeah. So, that's awesome, man. And Robert, when you got into business, man, your kids were pretty young too, man. How did, because we talked about this a little bit earlier, but how did you, balance that, man, when they were, 6 and 9 and forget?
Well, a lot of times what it is you don't balance it. You got to make a decision. What's priority, right? And so one of the things that I had to decide is, what short-term things do I got to do to be able to get that long-term goal that I want?
Yeah.
And so when my kids are young, I decided they don't know right now what's happening. Because you think about it, in elementary, we don't recall too much. Junior high, a little bit, but it's in high school where we really remember a lot. Yeah. So if I gave up that time when they were in elementary and middle school to be able to get all the time in high school, that was my goal. And so that was one of the things that I decided to do.
Yeah, and I already know, Robert, but why don't you share with everybody, man, what happened during your kids' high school years? How many years was it, first of all? Because all your kids.
So from my youngest to my oldest, they went through high school. It took 7 years, from 2010 to 2017. And there was 1 year, 2014, where all 4 of them were in high school. And boy, was that fun. It was like conquer and divide. Okay, honey, you go there, and I'm going to go here. And I'll meet you there afterwards, and then at 10 o'clock, we'll go to dinner here.
Yeah.
And so more than anything, what it is I built a business. Within 4.5 years, it paid me a 6-figure income. And I worked it for 15 hours a week and maintained that 6-figure income. Mm-hmm. Okay? I remember they would make fun of me. They go, if you want to talk to Robert, you better catch him at 10:30 in the morning, because if not, you won't see him unless it's training Tuesday night or training Saturday morning. Other than that, he's at the high school. And they knew, my wife and I were like, a lot of times the only parents there at events. But I remember when they were young, I said, if I give it up now, I'm giving it up to be able to have it forever. Yeah. And I actually applied that to everything in life. Yeah. See, if you don't sacrifice what you need to now to be able to get what you want, then what you want becomes a sacrifice, right? Yeah. And so that's kind of what I did to be able to get what I wanted.
Yeah. And that's powerful, man, because I think a lot of people in our stage of building our businesses are not willing to give that short-term, the instant gratification of the now to have the big stuff later on. And obviously I know you don't have any kids that we make a joke, none that you know of, right? But right. But you still have to make sacrifices while you're building your business, man. How have you balanced family time and time with your friends, while you're getting this business off? Because they don't have many other stuff in Houston, right? Blue Kangaroo.
There's one other location, but right, correct. And it's kind of like what everybody was saying, is that a lot of excuses that people say is like, oh, I don't have time. And I always say, well, it's not that you didn't have time, it's that you didn't prioritize it. Yeah. And that's okay. Like, you just need to think about it that way. Yeah. It's like, what is the priority for you? So for me, like friends, family, my love life, those are huge priorities for me. They're right there with my success in business. And that's how I handle everything, how I treat everything. It's like, if a client needs something and it's an emergency situation, I know it's a deal maker or breaker for the business. There you go. Like, that's an easy one for me. At the same time, best friends in town, haven't seen him in a couple of years. It's going to take something really, really big at work to be a priority over that. So I always look at everything as like, I have time for what I want to make time for. And where is it on the list of priorities? If you have clear priorities for yourself, then there you go. Like, you can just make the decision right then and there.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. So that actually branches perfectly into our topic of managing our time and building our businesses around our lives. And especially when things get really busy, right? Because I know you guys are out there chasing deals, all the time. And we can talk about that for a second. How we're building our business, because all of our businesses are a little bit different, but they're also pretty relevant, right? Cody, what would you say maybe has been one of the biggest, one of the biggest ways you're drawing up business for yourself right now, for people listening that maybe want to get into similar business, or what are you doing to really grow your business right now?
At first it was a lot of sweat equity, just put in the work. Sure. And then, as I got a few deals, I realized there's other people out there doing what I'm doing. So I got connected with them. And then there was people who were doing better than I was at the time too. So they kind of acted as like a mentor for me, prepping me for my next steps and then making sure, I'm doing what I'm supposed to. And then, just networking was huge. Like half my deals this year probably came from networking and the other half were by me. So, I consider that part of the job too, is networking and building relationships.
Sure. Okay. And Lawrence, what have you been doing, man? I know you're out there hustling every day. What are you doing to grow?
Honestly, what we do isn't easy. I mean, it's a grind. I mean, you got to be out there. I hit the pavement a lot. I mean, it's just nonstop out there, word of mouth. I network all the time. I network myself a lot. Everywhere project I go to, everything I do, you'll see me post a video. Even if it's a small, quick 30-second clip, I put it on my social media. I'm constantly reaching out to people, constantly getting involved with these investors. Try to see like what I can do for them, because everyone thinks they have someone until they don't. And then honestly, I just show up and try to fill in the voids. And I think my main thing was social media. There's a lot of people, a lot of neighborhood websites out there where someone's looking for a plumber, a roofer, a HVAC, or wants to remodel their kitchen or their bathrooms, and I message them directly. I mean, it's nonstop. I'm on my phone for about 3 hours once I try to end my night, just trying to message people who need a contractor. And that's what I gotta do, because I mean, I'm barely a year and a half in. We'll be hit year number 2 in November. And, we got to constantly just keep grinding, because, it ain't going to come to you. It ain't going to just fall on your lap. It's whoever's out there putting in that work. It's going to make sure it's going to be the one that's more successful. So.
Sure. And what are you doing, man, finding your business, developing your business?
I just, started by leaning into my strengths, which, is just the networking side. Put me in a room of strangers. I can make friends with everybody, no matter who they are, in any type of position or world, right? Yeah. So I do that. That's what I do. I just put myself out there. I'm out there all the time. There's competitors here in Houston. The amount of times I run into them doing that is almost never. It's hilarious. I run into them. I'm like, oh man, 1-800 Packoutz. I've been here since October doing this type of stuff, hitting these awesome events. There's great people to meet that need what we do. And this, last month, this is the first time I've met the business development manager there. Wow. So it's that sets you apart immediately when you're going to events and meeting with people that there is business there and they need your help and they just need to know what you do, and your competitors aren't there. All right, I'm doing something right. I'm going to lean into that more and more and more.
Yeah, well, it's crazy because you all have the same Google, so you can find the same events that just don't show up. It's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a matter of just putting in the work. You're talking sweat equity, hitting the pavement. Mine's a little different because I'm trying to meet referral partners, but I mean, same thing, same idea. Yeah. Go where they are,
Yeah, and Robert, you and I obviously use the same system, right? Why don't you talk about, though, when you got into business, man, what did you do, getting things started?
So, I think one of the biggest things is you got to go out and meet people.
Yeah.
I think more than anything.
Yeah.
People think that they can sit in an office and it all comes to them. I'm like, no, this isn't the movies.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times people watch movies and they trade that and think it's reality.
Why isn't my phone ringing?
Exactly. It's like, how come I'm not getting the calls? How come things aren't happening for me? And so you got to go out there. You got to hit the pavement. Exactly what you said. Hit the pavement. Go meet people. Go make friends. Let people know what it is that you do, how you can help them. But more than anything, listen to people.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest key. Because everybody wants to go meet people, but the ones that actually be quiet and listen are the ones that become or create more friendships. Because everyone's always giving you an answer what they're looking for, what they want, what they need. You just got to be quiet and listen to what they're saying to understand that.
Yeah.
And so you'll be surprised the networks and the connections you can make when you go meet people and then just listen to what they say. Because people today are all looking for an opportunity. They're all looking for a way out. They're all looking to get free. They just don't know how to do it. Just like what you said about going out and meeting people that do what you do, that did better than what you did, and mentorship, right? Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? Everyone's looking for that. It's just that sometimes we're too busy talking and not enough listening. Yeah. And so it's just hitting the pavement, meeting people, and then following up with them, because the key to winning is follow-up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, Robert. So just summarizing that, because I think literally all of us said same things but different things, right? One of the things you said is find a mentor, right? Which is huge because they've already been where you're trying to go, right? You know, hitting the pavement and grinding it out. You know, very few people are willing to go out there and knock on doors or make some calls, but that's like one of the easiest ways to find some immediate business, right? You know, and networking and building relationships with people is key, you know, and then all the above, and then, you know, starting with people we know and having intentional conversations with them, right? Because the thing about how many people you know that you're a real estate investor. Like friends, family, all that kind of stuff.
All of them?
Every single one of them.
Yeah.
Half the family's in your freaking business.
I hope everyone knows what I do. I mean,
Listen.
I post myself 100 times a day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
if
no,
you know
listen,
by now, I'm about to give
if
out
they've got the Guerrero last name, they're in
I don't know by now, but I'm friend.
If you don't know if you don't know what I'm doing by now, you're not my friend.
Yeah. No, by the way, that's it. I love that you said that because it really is true. If they know what you do, but they're not willing to support you, what kind of friend does that?
Exactly.
You know? You know, and I mean, you're the people you know, that your friends, family, they know what you do, right?
Oh yeah, I mean,
Of
when I
course.
first started that, nobody had any idea what a Packout or contents restoration is. Like, a lot of you guys probably don't know.
Sure, I
what that
still
is.
don't.
That's okay. That's okay. But I'll tell you right now, every single person that I talk to that I'm close with knows exactly what it is. Man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and your family has watched you build. In fact, your daughter is here right now building her business.
Yep, she quit her teaching job after 3 years to do this full time with me.
Oh, that's incredible.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine that, man. Imagine that your family, your kids getting involved in your business, man.
Man, that's my goal.
Yeah.
Is to leave something behind for either my son or my daughter to run, so I don't have to work until I'm 50 years old.
And I'll tell you what it is. The secret to that, more than anything, is even though you think they're not watching or don't care, oh, trust me, they're watching.
Yeah.
And they're watching with a bigger magnifying glass than you can ever imagine. They're watching what you do, how you do it, what you say, where you're going, what you experience. They're watching everything. And what it is more than anything, what got her, she said, I don't have any freedom at a job. That's number one. She goes, you guys go on vacation, I can't go with you, but then when we want to go, you don't want to go. I said, yeah, because that's when everyone's going. We want to go when there's nobody there.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, not just your vacation time, but on our time.
Yeah.
And then the second thing that got her was not only just the freedom, but the money that comes with the freedom.
Yeah.
You know, because when you build a business, you have total control of how much you want to make. There's no ceiling on this. It's up to you. But then when you build a business that has a business model where you can leverage your time, that's like a plus.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, that's true. And I think that also comes back to the way you think and your vision, right? How big do you really want it to be? You know, why don't you, Cody, why don't you talk about that for a minute, man? What's the vision look like over the next few years? You know, are you, thinking about staying in the fix and flip game and the rental game? What's it look like for you long term, man? What do you think?
Yeah, so my long term is I want to own RV parks eventually.
Okay.
Yeah, just low overhead and then cash flow every month. I'll still do wholesaling, fix and flips, to get my earned income, but
Sure.
passive, yeah, definitely RV parks.
So you're looking to build a passive income over time.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome, man. Okay, and while you get the microphone back to Lawrence, Neil, what does it look like for you, man? Because I know you're in year one at Packoutz, right?
Yeah,
This is still
yeah.
year one.
Yeah.
What's the next few years look like for your business?
So we want to open more warehouses across the country. At
Uh-huh.
that point, I'll be able to kind of take a step back from the day-to-day business development
Yeah.
role and actually be managing them. That's my experience. It's my passion. I love managing people
Sure.
And helping them succeed and be able to achieve their potential. So that's on the blue Kangaroo side. I have a rental property up in Austin. I love
Okay.
that. So I'd like to buy something here in Houston and then also buy it in other places that I can enjoy it, like in Playa del Carmen, Thailand, stuff like that. Rent it out like 90% of the time, but then I just go and live there 10% of the time.
Yeah,
So-
you have a bachelor pad in every city and every state,
yeah,
right?
yeah, and the money coming in to support the habits along with it. Too.
Yeah.
That's the important part.
Yeah. And Lawrence, what does it look like at Home Services, man? What's the vision over the next couple
And the
years?
long-term goal is to get those maintenance deals for his trailer parks. I'd love to be out there, fixing those trailers, making one great at a time. But now, honestly, my thing is, where my ambition is leading is hopefully we can buy our own dirt.
Yeah.
Meaning, I want to be the developer.
Yeah.
I want to be that guy, not just building for developers. I want to be in the next 5-10 years buying acres of land and building my own subdivisions. It started with rehabs. Now we're doing new construction.
Right.
You know, you gotta want to go more and more, not just be settled into like, hey, let me knock out 10 constructions a year. You know, you want to go into the big game. I want to be those guys I'm bidding with, those blocks, those DA40s, those Perry homes.
You'll do like 10 an hour.
Yeah, so that's my goal. My goal is to own the dirt and build on dirt.
That's awesome.
So you know that's a vision for Promenade Services, and hopefully one day, like I said, we can just franchise out. I mean, Austin, Texas, Dallas, you know, around here, San Antonio, Corpus Christi. You know, not just stay in one spot. We want to get out there. So
yeah. So the one common thing, and I'm gonna give it to Robert in a second, but he's gonna laugh. The one common thing you guys said is you want outlets. You know, you want multiple RV parks in different locations. You want, you know, franchises, people running in different cities. You know, you want to open up multiple warehouses. You know, you want to build a big team, right, and have multiple locations. Robert, considering, you know, I know we're building in 2 cities right now, man, but what's that vision look like for you, you know, over time?
Over time, more than anything, you would ask me this question. I know you were doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
So this is the thing. Over time, what it is we're going to have distribution throughout the U.S.
Yeah.
To where the jet takes me from city to city. We get up early in the morning, leave from our hangar the hangar is called Millionaire, and go from hangar to hangar to different cities to be able to travel and do what we enjoy, which is pouring to people. Not just pouring to people, but able to enjoy our lives as well while doing that. So
yeah. That's big, man, and we got about 5-6 minutes left. So I think it'd be really cool, you know, if we just talk a little bit of obstacles for a second, because I think one of the things that, you know, we've all heard from people that make excuses is that, man, I'd love to do what you do, but, and then it follows with something else. Have you heard a few of those even today? Yeah. So what are some Cody? What are some obstacles, man? You know, in your industry that you've seen, just maybe over the last couple of years you've been doing it.
I think one of the things what he talked about earlier is prioritizing it.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of people, like what I do is you can break it down so simple, but it's so complex to do actually. So you get a lot of people coming in thinking they're going to get like a quick buck.
Yeah.
And don't realize how much work you have to put in there. Being an entrepreneur, you got to create everything for yourself. Yeah. And a lot of people think it's just going to be handed to them. Mm-hmm. So I think just prioritizing, making sure it's actually what you want to do, and then knowing like, you're going to be, instead of working 9 to 5, you're working 5 to 9 at first. So you got to make sure that you're willing to do that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Neil, what about you, man, before we get back to Lawrence?
Yeah, so one thing that I've seen, so we're part of a large franchise group that other operators do, is they're trying to do everything all on their own. They are the warehouse manager, the ops manager, the owner, the salesperson.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
You know, and it's like we're trying to grow and scale and do that quickly.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we've done, and in my past career too, that really makes the difference is hiring.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I am not the best person at running a Packoutz. I've got October experience, you know.
Yeah.
But the first thing we did was like, all right, let's go find some of the top people in Houston that do this, and let's bring them here. Let's show them what their work-life balance can be like. Yeah. Let's see what they're making. Let's pay them more, and let's just let them run that side of the business.
Yeah.
And now they're like the owners of it.
Putting the right people in the right. Robert, how often do we say recruiting solves all problems?
Yeah.
We said that a lot.
100%.
I love that, Neil. That's great, man. And what about you, Lawrence? What are some of the challenges, you know, some of the obstacles you've had the last couple of years that are not self-inflicted?
Yes.
Why with him we had to say that?
Yeah,
because I know.
Because he fucking knows me. Yeah. Honestly, we wake up every day. We got to find out where our next meal is going to come from.
Sure.
We don't have that steady paycheck. You know, every day me and my brother have the same mindset. Wake up, we have $0 today. How much are we going to bring in? How much are we go out there? How much are we bring to the table? Because you know it's not always highs with construction.
Sure.
You know, there's times where it's real low. Last year, the Q4, we brought nothing in from October to December. It was nothing. It was just dead. So you know, having to deal with that, making sure now I brought John in to help me with that emergency fund. You know, because finance is not my thing, baby. He knows me. I mean, fuck it. We just go out there. We spend it as fast as we get it.
Yeah.
So now we're just trying to, you know, prioritize that.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm always talking about money first, because that's what I'm here for. I'm trying to make as much as I can so I can leave something behind. We didn't grow up with a lot. Mm-hmm. You know, we grew up very, very poor. You know, we had a lot with family though. You know, there was a lot of love there, but just not a lot on the table. So now, you know, just growing up that lifestyle, you know, you don't ever want to have your kids go through that. So, you know, every day wake up, it's just like, you know, what can I bring to the table? You know, what can we do? What deal can we land? And it's what we're going to do to accomplish this goal. Because we have a goal every week we got to hit, and our minds are ready. if we're not hitting at least that number, then we've failed ourselves. So we got to keep trying to grind. That's why we're working 7 days a week. So
yeah. And by the way, having obstacles that are self-inflicted are still obstacles, right? So sometimes people have to deal with those, right? And Robert, you've been in business longer than all of us. In fact, I think you've been in business longer than all of us combined. Something along it's close to that, right? But you've seen ups and downs and all arounds, man. What are some obstacles you've had over the last couple of years?
You disclosing my age?
He's just fucking disclosing.
Maybe.
The biggest obstacle, and I'm going to tell you what it is discipline. A lot of people don't realize that when you don't have a boss to tell you what to do and you got to be your own boss, it's the discipline of knowing where you're at. So you got to get good with your schedule, good with your calendar. Don't let your calendar rule you. You rule your calendar.
Yeah.
And so time blocking is probably the most important thing that I've learned. That's the biggest obstacle. People are people, that's up to me. But it's blocking out my time, prioritizing. I think the biggest one, and this is what people don't even realize, is you got to make your schedule so duplicatable that you know where you got to be just by looking at your watch. I think some days what it is people say, well, on Monday I'm going to do this, and on Tuesday I'm going to do this, and on Wednesday I'm going to do that, and they never build that momentum. They never build that, I guess, compound effort to be able to get what it is they want. And so the schedule, the discipline and persistency in doing what you're supposed to and staying disciplined, following your schedule and your calendar, and having to do the same boring things to get the results you want and allowing your efforts to compound is the biggest obstacle most people face when it comes to business. Because a lot of times people want that instant, well, I came and showed up 10 hours today, I should get paid. No, that's not how business works. You're not trading time for money.
Oh, shit.
But I could go to a whole other podcast talking about how we're conditioned and programmed that way based as a child. And so once you learn how to manage your time and you rule your calendar and then stay disciplined, and that's the moment that you start to see the results from your efforts.
Yeah, and Robert, that was powerful. I think that's actually a great way to close things out. We try to keep things just about under 30 minutes, and we're right around that time. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with us today. I know two out of three guys came a considerable distance, so I do appreciate that. Cody, if people want to get a hold of you, man, what's the best way for them to do that?
They can reach out to me on social media, Cody Hadley, or how many people you got viewing?
There's going to be a lot. Maybe not put the phone number if you don't want to.
Yeah, okay. I'll put the phone number.
Yeah, that's okay. But I'll put your Instagram and your Facebook and everything in the show notes.
Yeah, that's perfect right there.
So that's the best way for them. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
I want to throw my number out there.
Yeah. And if people want to get a hold of you, brother, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, just go to Blue Kangaroo Packoutz, LinkedIn, Instagram, doesn't matter, our website, and it'll be an easy way to reach out to us.
Okay, and Lawrence, I don't know if there's
Just
a bunch of single
contact John
dudes
Brucato,
or
man.
I don't know if there's a bunch of single guys or single girls. I don't know who's going to be watching, but I'm just
Honestly, the best way to get hold of me is getting a hold of John Brucato. He's my right hand man. Honestly, he's my brother in this venture I'm doing right now, and he's brought a lot of balance in that discipline. Not as much discipline yet because I'm very hard to work with, but I'm gonna get there. I promise. So.
It's the guy that shows up with a bottle of whiskey.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's
How did I get
that's like
I'm
3.
Party, man.
Yeah. But hey guys, thank you again for listening to Unleash Your Potential podcast. Check us out on Instagram and YouTube. And this episode will probably be, by the time you guys are watching this, it's probably going to be October, but that's okay. No, it's going to be before that. But if you guys want to get with any of these guys or me or Robert, just check the show notes, and we'll catch up with you guys soon.